Thank you, Sudeep, for the introduction. Yeah, so as mentioned, I'm presenting on behalf of Dario, who couldn't be here today, unfortunately. But I will be explaining what we have been working on in the preclinical working group of foundingGIDE. The overall goal of this part, you've seen the description of the foundingGIDE, so we are now in the preclinical lower part of that diagram. So we want to define a standard set of metadata, which is useful then to describing the preclinical image data sets. And we will use the ontologies to improve the cross-search with other databases. So first, a little bit of background. From this non-exhaustive list, you can see that there's a vast number of radiology repositories available. But then if we move on to the preclinical repositories, there are actually quite few, and these are fragmented initiatives. These might be at the institutional level or single-sited, and some of them are available online, but these are normally quite small data sets, and they might be lacking metadata or may not be curated at all. Then there are also some of the general repositories, but these are not then specific for preclinical imaging. So this is why at the medical imaging hub of Euro-BioImaging in Torino, some years ago, they started this initiative of the PIRAR repository, so you can find the link there. And this is a metadata repository. It is associated to peer-reviewed publications. It is a well-curated repository which has more than 150 metadata attributes that include several fields. And then it includes the link to the XNet platform. You can find the link there as well. Yeah, that's it. Here's an example. These are some stats from PIDAR, the current situation. There are several anatomical regions covered, quite versatile collection of imaging modalities, and then several different disease models. Then how can foundingGIDE help fulfill the requirements for this curated repository, the PIDAR? So there are two goals. One is to develop a harmonized and structured metadata model to describe the preclinical image data sets, and the other part is to enrich then this metadata model with the selected multidisciplinary ontologies. So the metadata model is based on the REMBI that has been mentioned before during this meeting. And it is also then structured and modified following the ARRIVE guidelines, which is the animal research and reporting of preclinical experiments. Then there are some other guidelines that we're following. Then this has been, you can see the representative image here. This has been developed then based on feedback from the Euro-BioImaging nodes and then the partners in foundingGIDE. So the metadata model includes 8 main sections. You can find them here on this slide. It includes the study design, the study components, which is, for example, the imaging modality. It has the in vivo experimental parameters, the experimental procedure, or any interventions that were made during the studies, the image acquisition parameters, image data formats, image correlations, whether, for example, some co-registration of multimodal studies were made, and then what kind of analyses were performed. Here are some screenshots of the metadata model of one single data set, but I won't go through this in detail. Okay, then I'm glad Matthew already explained what ontologies are, so I don't have to go into detail with this, but it is describing the knowledge within a certain domain in a certain vocabulary. So it is like a systematic vocabulary to describe things. And these are the ontologies that we need to curate the data set. Yeah. Yeah. Within the preclinical working group, we have taken up 13 different domains that describe the versatility of the preclinical field that you can see here. For example, disease, experimental condition, drugs, and so on. And we have made a landscape analysis of this field, and we have discovered 35 different ontologies currently. What we then do is we make a ranking to choose the best one from each of these domains. And the thing is that the ranking goes so that we have collected these different attributes from each of these ontologies. For example, how many terms an ontology has, what's the file format, how many visitors there are, and so on. Yeah. And then now, 2 minutes, yeah. So then we are now still developing these further. We are collecting final feedback from the foundingGIDE partners to finalize the metadata list. Then we are planning to prepare a survey for the wider international consensus of the model. We will select the ontologies for each of the 13 domains that were mentioned, and we will develop and implement curation tools for the PIDAR database. And I would like to acknowledge Tanya, Peter, Yuki, Ryan, Kranti, Francesco, Suichi, and Koji for this work. Thank you so much for your attention.